Hello friends, welcome to my channel Pallavi's English Academy. Hope you all are doing well. Today is a very special day. It is 5th of September and we all celebrate this day as Teachers Day to show respect, honor to all our teachers. So today I selected a lesson which is quite relevant to this day. So let's get started. Teachers are the torch bearers who help to build up the framework of the children. Later, they become productive citizens. So here we will learn a chapter, and the name of the chapter is Bholi of class 10. Bholi is written by K.A. Abbas, where a teacher plays a vital role to change a dumb, dull girl to a courageous and fearless girl. There are many children who are slow learners initially, but if they get the help of the proper mentors, then surely they transform themselves. So here we will see the characters first. Now, Bholi, her real name is Sulekha, and she is Nambardar Ramlal's youngest daughter. School education changes her outlook towards life. Next, we see another character in this lesson, Bholi, and the character's name is Ramlal, who is Bholi's father. He is a prosperous father of 7 children who has a narrow mindset. For him, daughters are born for marriage only. He just don't want the daughters to grow up to be a successful citizen. Bhuli's mother is a typical conservative mother. She does not take proper care of Bholi. So being a mother also and knowing what her daughter was lacking behind, she never encouraged her, neither did she take proper care of Bholi. Bholi's school teacher, who plays a vital role in this lesson, is again a very important character. She encourages Bholi throughout. And Vishambhar is Bholi's prospective husband, who is a greedy man and a dowry seeker. So these are the characters of this lesson. Now we will read this lesson as a summary. Bholi's real name, as I told you, was Sulekha, but from her childhood, everyone called her Bholi. Now, she was the fourth daughter out of the 7 children of Ramlal, Nambadar of the village. When Bholi was 10 months old, she had fallen off the cot, which had damaged some parts of her brain. So, unfortunately, when she was just 10 months old, she just fell down from the cot and she damaged some part of her brain. Since then, she remained a backward child. So she could not speak properly and she started speaking also very late. Further, she was 2 years old when she suffered from an attack of smallpox and her entire body was disfigured by deep black pock marks. Initially, when she was a child, she was beautiful, she was fair, but then again, destiny somehow betrayed her and she had smallpox and it all just disfigured her whole body. She learned to speak at the age of 5 and stammered while speaking. So everyone made fun of her. So unfortunately, she could not speak at the right age and she started speaking at the age of 5 and everyone made fun of her because she used to stammer. Bholi's father was a rich farmer who sent his sons to the city for studies. Now here we can see the discrimination is being done. The eldest daughter Radha was already married, whereas Mangla and Champa were good looking and healthy girls and they were about to get married. Ramlal was only worried about Bholi as she was neither beautiful nor intelligent. So he was much worried about Bholi because she was not intelligent and neither she was good looking. So Bholi was 7 years old when a primary school opened in their village. The Tehsildar who had come to inaugurate the school advised Ramlal to send his daughter to school to set an example for others, because at those times what happened, girls did not go to school and there was a practice that only boys would go to school. So when the Tehsildar came, he wanted Ramlal to send his daughter to school to set an example. Ramlal could not say no to him. His wife objected that no one would marry the girls if they went to school. But then she felt that Bholi was ugly and it would be difficult to get her married, so they decided to send Bholi to school. So we see how Bholi was discriminated and how she was just ignored by the parents, and they, because just only Bholi was ugly, they knew that Bholi would not get married easily, so they wanted to send Bholi to school. Next day, Bholi was dressed to go to school. Bholi was given new clothes for the school. Earlier, she used to wear old clothes of her sisters, but she was given a bath and oil was rubbed in her dry hair. So initially, they did not pamper Bholi so much. She was just kept aside, aloof. But then that particular day when she was about to go to school, they all groomed her up properly. Bholi was filled with fear when her father went back to the village after handing Bholi to the headmistress. Her headmistress asked her to sit in a corner in one of the classrooms. She was glad to see girls of her own age at school. So she was a small child and she was never allowed to go out, and suddenly when that day the father took her to the school, and she became extremely scared. She felt that she was going to an unknown place. But yes, when she was groomed properly, somehow she felt that the place where she was going was much better there, compared to her home. So now what happened? She was left alone and she was guided by the headmistress, and she was given a corner place to sit. The lady teacher in the class said something to other girls, but Bholi could not understand anything. Now enters the teacher, and as I told you, the teacher in this lesson plays a very important role. So the teacher assigned some work to the class, but then Bholi could not follow it. She was attracted to the colorful pictures on the wall. She was much impressed by the realistic pictures of birds and animals. The teacher asked her name, but then Bholi stammered and then started crying. Means she just wanted to name her, wanted to tell her name, but then she just said, uttered bha bha, and then she could not speak. After the other children left, the teacher came back to her. She called her lovingly and encouraged her to tell her name. So, the way the teacher addressed to the child, she became much relaxed. Just I can enact it in front of you. Bholi. In this way, the teacher called her name in a very approaching way. So then this time Bholi tried to speak her name and was successful. So finally that bha bha, it just came it out properly and it became bha bha and then Bholi. The teacher told Bholi to come to school every day. Bholi felt as if a new life was beginning for her. Imagine, she had to struggle so much to speak her own name, but then finally the teacher encouraged her and she was able to speak her name without any obstacle. She became extremely happy and her soul delighted that now she would be in a new world and she will get to know lot many things. The teacher gave a book to Bholi which had pictures of dog, cat, goat, etc. The teacher told her that she would be able to read like everyone else in a month and then no one would laugh at her. Bholi was happy as the teacher encouraged Bholi and gave her a hope of a new life. So just see, only a name which was addressed by the teacher in a very soft way, in a very encouraging way, just changed this girl's mindset up. She somehow realized that yes, she could also overcome this obstacle of her. Many years passed. the village progressed and converted into a small town. The primary school became a high school. There were now a cinema under a tin shade and a cotton grinding mill. The mail train began to stop at their railway station. So this shows that that particular village now has developed a lot. One night after dinner, Ramlal and his wife were talking about a marriage proposal for Bholi. Now, Bholi was grown up. Bishambar was 45 or 50 years old widower. So the bridegroom's name over here is Bishambar, and he was a widower almost around age of 45 to 50 years. He had grown up children from his first wife. Vishambar was rich and had not demanded any dowry. So this was a plus point for the parents, that no dowry was demanded, and they did not bother about the age gap, mind you. So there was a huge age gap between Bholi and the bridegroom, but then still they wanted this girl to get married to a person who was almost her father's age. Ramlal was not very happy from this proposal, but his wife believed that it was the best marriage proposal for Bholi. And why for the mother it was the best proposal? Because they were quite prosperous and rich. She told Ramlal that since Bishambar was from another village, he did not know about Bholi's pockmarks and lack of sense. So Bholi's marriage was fixed. So the mother also was quite conscious about the fact that the Bholi had a lot of pockmarks. So then Vishambar was from another village, and he would not easily come to know about these drawbacks of pockmarks and how the girl was not so beautiful. Now, on the wedding day, Bishambar came as bridegroom with his friends and relatives. Bholi came out in red silken bridal dress. A woman slipped Bholi's veil. Vishambar had a look at her face. He confirmed with his friend if Bholi had pockmarks on her face. Vishambar's friend replied that it did not matter since Vishambar was not very young. So immediately he became quite conscious, and he was aware of the fact that Bholi had pockmarks. But then his friend said that, come on, you are also not very young. When the wedding was about to take place, Bishambarnath asked for 5,000 rupees to marry Bholi as she had pockmarks on her face. Now, immediately his greedy mind came up to a conclusion that if they give 5,000 rupees as dowry, then only he would marry this pockmarked girl. He also threatened to walk away from the ceremony. Ramlal was afraid of the humiliation, and so, with tears in his eyes, he handed dowry money to Bishambar. He just kept his turban down and he surrendered, and he gave the money as per the requirement of the bridegroom. Bishambar proceeded towards Bholi with a garland, but here comes the climax, children. Bholi threw the garland away. She just took it off and threw it into the fire. She asked her father to take back the money and refused to marry Bishambar. So she just denied to marry this person, Bishambarnath. The people around started talking, and Ramlal asked Bholi to take care of his respect. Bholi, however, refused to marry such a greedy man, and she also said that if she would not be careful about, or she would not be conscious about the respect, then she would, from the beginning, she would deny to marry this person, knowing that the person was almost her father's age. But then she accepted the proposal only for the respect of the family. But now, when she comes to know that he was such a greedy and contemplate kind of a person, she just refused to marry him. An old woman now called her shameless, which angered Bholi. The angry Bholi replied that now she is not a dumb or a stammering fool. So I told you, that a person who is dumb, dull initially can be transformed to a fearless, courageous person. And here was this girl, Bholi, who was a complete changed person. She was courageous, she was brave, and she was fearless. When Vishambar and everyone went away, Ramlal asked Bholi what she would do with her future. So the concluding part here, the father was quite upset that the marriage was broken, and somehow he just wanted to know that what will Bholi do next. So Bholi told him that she would not marry and take care of her parents in their old age. So she also told them that she would teach at the school just like her teacher. So she was so inspired by the teachers, and she was quite ambitious, and she wanted to work in the school. Sulekha's teacher, who was watching all this drama, approved Bholi's decision. She smiled at her with satisfaction, just like an artist who is satisfied after completing her masterpiece. So, when an artist tries to portray the figure or any kind of, sketch, the artist in his mind has lot many things. He has so many expectations, and he wants and he looks forward to make the painting in his way where all the expectations will be fulfilled. And finally, here also we see that the teacher wanted Bholi exactly like what she was today. She wanted that dumb, dull Bholi to be one, become a courageous, confident, and a brave girl. And here she was. She was a complete changed person. She did not stammer at all, and she just put her words straightforwardly. So that's all about the story. We can also come to a conclusion that teachers are very important part of all of our lives. Teachers play the role and change people from maybe what they were initially. Maybe a child be a slow learner, but slowly and gradually, if or she has a perfect mentor with him, believe me, that person can be a complete changed person like Bholi. So I hope you understood the lesson. Thank you and have a nice guys. If you have any kind of doubts, then you can text me below in the comment section and I'll clarify your doubts. And please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Bye. Thank you.